she's going to share with us her greater work story. Hey, Sarita, how you doing?
I am good. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. So what story would you like to share with us today concerning your greater works?
Well, I feel the greatest work that God has led me to is regards to teaching children.
And when it comes to teaching children, I have a couple questions. So how long did you teach and where did you teach? So did you just teach in Milwaukee or were there other places?
All right. I am a retired educator. I have been in the classroom over 35 years. I've started off my career here in Milwaukee. This is my home. And then I worked in the New York public school system. And then I worked in the Atlanta public school system.
Nice. So comparing Milwaukee, New York, and Atlanta, would you say that they're totally different or they are the same?
All right. I worked with quote unquote inner city children. That's where God led me. He wanted me to work with children that other people may not have wanted to work with. And nationwide, urban is urban.
Okay. And how do you feel you were prepared to work in an urban school setting? What did you bring that was lacking?
Well, one thing I brought to the classroom on a consistent basis was love, concern, and the desire to really teach children. It's important to teach children. It's important to do everything at your best, but it's important to teach those young learners at your utmost best. And praying to God for the strength, for the wisdom is crucial.
And so when it came to your greater works, I know there were tough days. So how did you make up your mind to say that you weren't going to quit? So even when that kid really got on your nerves, or when the principal or whoever wanted you to do something, but you felt like you needed more teachable moments rather than going by the curriculum, how did you stay steadfast in knowing that teaching was for you?
I tell you, all from the grace of God. When there were those difficult times, yes, I had to pray. I had to just immediately pray. My prayers at night had to be more intensified on the area I was most concerned with. Because yes, you're going to have those difficulties with children. You're going to have those difficulties with parents. You're going to have those difficulties with your co-workers and the administration. There's no doubt about it, because it's not an easy, happy-go-lucky. You're going to have those beautiful experiences, but you're talking lives and interactions in all facets. And yes, there are those difficult times. Communication is good. Try to talk with the individuals, find out what's going on, what can we do to change things, but prayers.
So when it comes to family and working together as a community to help to make sure that that educational experience for their child or your whole classroom is a positive one, what roles do families play in education, especially for young kids?
The family is the foundation. I can't say it enough. Making that connection with the family can make your teaching experience a lot more pleasant. Now, there are going to be times when you're not able to connect with the family. Then, you're asking for wisdom as to, okay, how am I going to work with this child, even though I don't have the support of the family or the parents for whatever reason. And understanding that child, not just in the educational arena, but also in terms of how they are emotionally, physically, because the difficulties that children have, things that happen at home when they're out of the safe haven of the classroom can be extremely devastating. And so then they come in the classroom the next day hopefully you can find a little time just to kind of talk with them, just to kind of relax them a little bit. You know, they're able to get something to eat because sometimes children don't have anything to eat at home. Giving them something to eat, having a little time to talk with them. But I tell you, with today's teaching situation, with all of these mandates that teachers have today, it is so hard to take that additional time to see where the children are. Your classrooms are so large, pacing, pacing, pacing. But if you can, try to talk with the children and get a feel of where they are as much as possible.
And with that, how would you encourage a first-year teacher or teachers who feel like giving up, but they know that they were called to do it, but it would be easier to quit? So how would you encourage them to continue to do their greater work?
And I tell you, I love trying to encourage first-year teachers, veteran teachers, or what have you, to stay with education. I try to encourage them, yes, get involved with your church, be around your fellow Christian saints. Try to get into a positive setting as much as possible. And I also try to encourage teachers to make sure that they are on top of their curriculum, make sure they are on top of the needs of their children. I know some classrooms are huge, but it is important to try to know the needs of your children as much as possible. But yes, they do have to take care of themselves. It's a rough time now in teaching. It's a very rough time.
So now, you were a teacher for 30-something years, and you recently retired, like you're not in the classroom at all. This will be your first fall not preparing anything as far as teaching. So what is your next greater work, Sarita?
All right, I tell you, this is the first fall, and it kind of hurts a little bit because I do miss that classroom, but it's time. The Lord has told me it's time to move on. I can still mentor teachers and what have you, but it's now time to focus in the church, focus on various ministries. So I'm staying very close with God, with prayer, asking, but also talking a lot with my pastor.
And as far as still working in the church, so you're still going to be teaching in some type of way, correct?
I am. I will work with children's ministry, but I also want to get more involved with evangelism during various outreaches. I feel that if I'm able to give some sense of happiness, even for a few moments, to those that are living out in the elements, I feel that's important. And if I can say a prayer with them, whatever I can do, it's still reaching people.
So you being a Christian and then working in a school environment, we know that there's supposed to be the whole church separate from education. How did you go about still doing your job but still maintaining the faith that you have in God?
Well, one of the things, I did do a lot of praying. It was internal praying. You know, I truly believed walking the walk. And so when my children, because it would come up, families would ask, do I go to church? And yes, I would tell them, yes, it's very important to have my connection with God so that I am able to teach. So prayers, and prayers.
Yes, prayers do make a difference. So when it comes to your greater works and the things that you have done over the past 30 years in this new chapter that you're starting with greater works, what is one word that sums up the old journey and your new journey?
Wow, that's a good question. First word that came to my mind is persistence. Even with the difficulties, stay strong, stay with it.
Mhm.
Persistency was important in the classroom setting. Persistency will be important with the church ministries.
Mhm.
That's the first word that came to my mind.
Very good. Being persistent. And then we know that being persistent doesn't mean that it's always easy, but that the outcome and that what we're believing is worth it.
Yes, yes, yes. The outcome. God has given us visions. God is, leading us. We have to listen to God. The difficulties will be there, but stay persistent with our prayers.
Mhm.
Stay persistent with the work that we need to do. Stay persistent with talking with the pastor.
Yeah.
Um, because, yes, life can be very difficult, period.
One question back to teachers. When it comes to having relationships and connections, how important is it for a teacher, not just someone that you can vent to, but someone that's going to actually help you to get out of that mindset or for you to stop talking negative? How important is it to have those positive relationships? And I would hear um, this lady, she used to say, don't go to the cafeteria. Well, not the cafeteria, but the teacher's lounge, because that's where the teachers would badmouth their bad students. So how important is it for teachers to have those positive relationships?
And I was going to bring up that teacher's lounge. As much as possible, stay out of there. Go get the snacks, go get the refreshments, or what have you. But you are able to gravitate towards those positive individuals.
Okay.
You can see them walking the walk as well.
Mhm.
And as much as possible, go to them, talk with them privately, pray with them.
Right.
Um, because you will know instantly those educators that just want to gripe about this and that. You're right, stay away from them as much as possible. They might be your teammate. Get on your knees and pray.
And when it comes to having a mentor, did you have one? And what is the impact that he or she made when it came to you being a teacher?
Yes, I remember when I was probably in my second year of teaching, and this is in the state of New York, New York Public Schools. I had a mentor. Again, she was always professional because she knew that look was important for the children.
Mm-hmm.
She was always prepared. The questions that she would ask me to make sure I was on target. Her demeanor was pleasant, pleasant for adults as well as for children. And I watched her. And I just loved that calmness with her. And her class was always calm, you know. So she was my mentor in many, many ways. We would hang out and talk about education, but we would also hang out whereby we could pull ourselves together. Because we have to continue that connection with God.
Yeah.
That's our strength.
Good. All right, Sarita. Well, I thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Sister Sika.
You did a great job sharing your greater work story.
Well, thank you. Excellent questions. Thank you. This was very insightful for me. So thank you for asking me.
No problem. And since I have stepped my toe in the education field, I feel like it was easier for me to ask you these questions, seeing when I went to my field placements and having the classes, and it's just like an all-around great experience.
Yes.
So thank you for your time, and thank you for being with the kids and showing them a great example. And as you start this next journey, I pray that God will give you the strength and endurance and persistence, and that you would just enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Sister Sika.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. Bye.